Hi everybody, and welcome back to Kevin's Carvings. And today I think we're going to attempt to do a walking stick for you guys. I'm going to show you how to do a walking stick. Just grab a stick out of your yard. This right here happens to be a cedar stick. I'm going to draw a face on it, and we're going to use our Dremel. And you're going to need a cone bit and the Kutzall Extreme flame burr. I might throw a typhoon bit in there and a ball bit too, but for now, hopefully you have your Dremel and a Kutzall Extreme, and you're going to need a cone-shaped burr from Dremel for one of these also. You can find them in the description. Let's draw two lines like this to start off. I already took the bark off my stick, so you might want to do that before you start. And I got a Kutzall Extreme here, the flame bit, and we're just going to cut this out real quick. Just follow the lines we already did, and then we're going to try and shave the wood up and into those lines. Then we're going to clean the stick off a little bit underneath it. There's a great bit for that. Okay, now the next part, I have this stick in my jaw horse, by the way. We're going to make a line just like that, about a third of the way down. That's going to be the bottom of his nose. Just run a cut straight across like that and take the wood out from underneath. Okay, let's come back up here to the top. And let's do the same exact thing almost that we did for the very first cuts we made, and let's do it again. Just like that. And this time we're going to shape and dig out on the sides, leaving a triangle mound of wood here that we can shape our nose out of. Okay, just bring it up to a point in the center and give yourself a wide enough nose, however wide you like. And then we're going to take our bit and we're going to mark those two lines, and we're going to cut those out from the bottom and then blend everything over. Okay, now right about here we're going to start putting some lines towards the nose and give him two lines like that to the top of his eyelids, and that's where we're going to start that. Then we're going to draw another line on the bottom. It's kind of a football shape, doesn't have to be perfect. I made them kind of big so I have room. Okay, even though they don't look big. Now right here my camera wasn't filming, but all I did was cut underneath the eye on the line and then down around the triangle to where we're going to put our nose. Okay, sorry about that. I thought my camera was filming. That's the only part in the video it does this. But all I did again was I went underneath the eye and then down around that triangle for the nose. Now right here we're just cutting out two smile lines and we're rounding that over. You want to keep rounding as you go down the stick by going side to side like that. Okay, let's give him a mustache here. Every now and then somebody comes and talks to me when I'm filming. I'm going to cut this line out. And I think the camera's on and it's not, because I like the voiceover in my videos. After you make any of these cuts, make sure you clear the wood underneath to make those cuts stand out, like his mustache here for instance. Make sure you come down on the sides. It's pretty self-explanatory when you're just watching it. This isn't too hard to do. You got the bits and you got a nice piece of wood. Let's draw a little line here for his mouth. And let's just take some wood out from underneath there. Try to dig a little bit in the corner of each side of that lip, and again, round it over and take the wood out from underneath the mustache. It goes pretty quick, doesn't it? And right here we're just going to draw some lines that are not straight. Okay, just make them kind of lazy S's or swirl them to one side, whatever you like. Just don't make them straight. And we're going to come down the stick, but you can go all the way down the stick if you like here. Or not, it's up to you. You can wrap them around the stick. Okay. Then we're going to take the same bit and just kind of smooth those lines over. Believe it or not, this is a video for beginners. I mean, it really isn't that hard to stick a face like this on a walking stick. Now we're going to come back up here to the eyes. And we're going to go across the top on that line, so don't really worry about it. They were more for reference in the beginning because we're going to be drawing those back in. But go across the top like that and then take that wood out underneath it because we want to get deeper, especially by the corners of the nose here. Okay, up at the top. And then come down slowly and go around your nose and keep that shaping. But try to get this hollowed out pretty good right in there by the corners of the nose. Okay, and then we'll have plenty of room to put an eye, don't worry. You can dig that over a little bit, extend those eyebrows, or the eyelids, I mean, over to the sides of them. Now we're going to redraw in our eyelids. And again, the football shape underneath. And if it's not big enough, just make it a little bigger, because we're going to be cutting that. You know, so if you mess up drawing, don't worry. I'm going to try and hook the top eyelid a little more towards the nose there too. Okay, we drew the upper lid in. The lower lid we didn't really put in yet. We're just going to have a line there, but we'll make that the lower lid and put a bag under it later. This right here is the cone bit now I'm going to. We're going to cut on top and underneath. Try and get that eyeball, because it'll be rounded a little bit now. Try and get that to go up and under that eyelid by shaving it with your cone bit. Be careful. Sorry my hand's in the way, but you can see what I'm doing on the other side. If you can't see this side, it's kind of hard to do this when it's in the holder. You'll find out as you're carving it's much easier to hold the stick in your hand and rotate it, but now we have some eyes shaped. We're still going to mess with this over here on this side a little bit. And I'm going to go around the nose with this cone bit and reinforce those lines, shaping as I go. And then come down on the sides and make sure you get a good crisp line around the outside of that mustache there. We'll go to the mouth. We'll try and cut that line out a little bit. And don't worry if you don't get everything in one pass, because we're always honing and always going back. So I'm shaping the lip, trying to get the corners of the lip to go up and underneath the mustache a little bit. And we'll be coming back to it, so don't worry. And then you can always redraw your detail in, okay? Like right here, I'm just making sure I don't lose where I want the lip. You can color his mouth in a little bit if you want. And you know that's where to take wood out. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Dremel ball cutter and I'm going to smooth these eyes over. And whatever else I find that needs smoothing. And I'll stick a couple of nostrils in with that a little bit. Just by digging it in lightly, and we'll go over the carving in spots and try and smooth things over. Clean up a little bit that's dug up. It doesn't take much from that cutter. Okay. Back to putting our lines back on our eyes where we want them. Okay, we're going back to the cone bit. Whenever we work on these eyes, we're cutting out these little lines. You're going to need a small bit, so always use your cone bit for that. Unless you're taking wood out from underneath the eye, then you can use, you know, a bigger bit. But when you're doing the detail like that, you want a very fine point, and this point works pretty good. They even make smaller cone bits. I'm going to try and put one of those in my Amazon storefront for you guys. If you look around in there and you go in there, you will see a smaller one. And they work really good for stuff like this. This right here is the average size. I forget the number on it. It's a 125 or something, I think. I'll have to look it up, but it is in my store if you want to go in and look. Okay, so we're trying to keep those eyes rounded, and like I said, with this stick in the holder, I'm going to have to get my knife out here and that's a chore trying to do it while it's in the holder. So you gotta forgive me a little bit if my eyes come out a little bit weird, because I'm really not good at trying to do it with the stick in the holder anyway. And the camera's in the way and everything. I'm taking a little wood out of the nose and shaping that while my knife's in my hand out from underneath it and making it straighter on the bottom. And just cleaning up little things. Not really doing anything that we absolutely have to do. I'm just trying to fix those eyes up and clean his mouth up a little bit with it. Like here. Trying to cut in the corners and then tuck that lip up underneath. Clean up a little under the mustache, make the shadows a little deeper, that's all. Okay, let's go back up to here and draw his eyebrows in. We're going to try and come down along the sides of the face. A comb bit? No. We're going to need a bigger bit for this. And this time I'm going to switch to my Typhoon. You can use your Kutzall Extreme for this. I like my Typhoon. It's got a little pointier bit. And we want to frame his face now. Dremel also makes a series of bits that you can use for stuff like this also. And you could do it with your comb bit, but I'm going to do a little bit more shaping and taking a little more wood off with it, so I don't really want to use the comb bit for this. I want something that will take off a little more wood. And I want to take these eyebrows and shape them out, so I'm going to use the same bit for that. And then we'll just shave down from the top so they stand out, and we'll take wood out from underneath and make sure that you go around and you always clean up after you make those cuts and try and blend everything together. So I'm working my way up towards the top, and I'm going to tuck that wood underneath then. Come down on the sides. Get some shadows by digging that point in over there in the corners of his eyes. And this little point is good for poking right in and getting the mouth hole and the nostrils in. And again, trying to blend that forehead up little at a time. And this is where I put the secondary wrinkles in and stuff like that. I'll go around and use this bit. Take a little bit more wood out from underneath the lines that I've cut, so the parts that I want to stand out will stand out. Let's run a couple of hairlines down his mustache with it. And you could play with these bits and figure out what they do. You can use these videos as examples. Just definitely make sure you're sticking to what we were planning, and your face should come out okay. I mean, you could have all kinds of different bits to play with to do different things. Right here, I'm just going to make some lines real quick and easy for hair. I'm going to try and push from the bottom up into that hairline so his forehead goes up and underneath. Always reinforcing my lines first before I clear any wood. Okay, now I'm going back to the comb bit. I'm going to try and get these eyes in. This stick's kind of at an angle facing backwards, so it's just kind of a bit of a hassle, but we should be able to handle it. What's great about the comb bit is if you're doing a stick, I like to do this with gouges myself, but it's great for poking two little irises into your eyeball and making a fast eyeball. And then, of course, you outline the line of the eye, whatever shape you want to make it, and then reinforce the lines of the bags. And then when you sand and you blend, you can even use that steel ball again to blend everything together as far as the cheeks and everything go, and right here where I'm cutting. Sometimes just sandpaper alone really blends it in nice. It won't look so choppy. Give him a couple of crow's feet. Play with the bit and see where you want to put the lines. Sometimes less is more. Make sure you really run some hard cuts through the mustache with this bit. It gives a really good appearance of hair. And outline the sides of the face with it. Just going around my eyebrows again, putting a couple of lines in for eyelashes, not eyelashes, but the brow hairs. Just like that. And a couple of lines on his nose. Anything to give him a little more character. I like to run this cone bit through the cuts that I already made for the beard and undercut them. It gives it a little bit more shadow, makes them stand out a little bit more. I also do it underneath the mustache to make that stand out. Just go around the carving, and where you see fit and you want a little bit more detail and make them pop a little more, use that cone bit. Good, now we'll brush him off. He doesn't look too bad. I'm going to sand him down pretty good. Let's take him out of the vise and see what he looks like. It was a pretty quick carve, just a few tools. And what I'm going to do with this guy, on my walking sticks, I like to paint the eyes and give him a little shading and stuff like that. So this is what we ended up with. And what I'm going to do, if you stick around for a second, I'm going to paint it, and I'll show you again what he looks like with the painted eyes and what you can make a simple walking stick like this look like if you do add a little bit of paint and imagination. And that's what the thumbnail came from. So that's what I got finished with. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one.